This is America in Space, a weekly news and information program on current events dealing with the space industry. From the Washington News Bureau, here is your host, Rick Potlock.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of America in Space. In this episode, we'll have part 2 of Mark Rober's 5-part series on Is NASA Worth the Money? But first, another episode of Space Trivia with David Denault.
Well, Rick, today I have a question for all of the science mathematicians. Question is, how long does it take for our solar system to complete one orbit around the galactic center of our Milky Way? Once again, how long does it take for our solar system to complete one orbit around the galactic center of our Milky Way? Now, you have until 12 midnight tonight to submit your answer to info@aboutspace.today. Rick, back to you.
Thanks, David. In part 2 of Mark Rober's series, Is NASA Worth the Money?, Mark talks about extinction prevention.
This is a fancy way of saying we should be doing everything within our power to make sure that nothing catastrophically bad happens to us. Hollywood got this right when they said that a large asteroid impact would be really bad news. Now, the chances of this happening are small, but the potential consequences are so large, just ask these guys, it makes sense to take it seriously. NASA has already put an asteroid early warning detection system in place, and in October 2022, for the first time ever, they will test ramming a spacecraft into an asteroid to see if you can deflect it off course with a mission called DART. But perhaps an even bigger threat to humans are humans. One of the goals of all of the rovers that we sent to Mars is to gather data on what it would take for humans to live there. Establishing a permanent human outpost on Mars would serve sort of like a backup hard drive for your computer in case something catastrophically bad happened here on Earth.
Next week, Mark will be talking about offshoot technologies such as MRIs and telemetry for emergency medical services and other advances in the field of heart surgery. Dr. Dave Williams, who served on STS-118, explains.
One of the greatest applications of space technology is in the whole area of heart surgery. Everybody knows somebody that's got heart disease because it's so prevalent. The typical problem that we're focusing on in heart disease is a heart attack, which is caused by the blockage of the arteries to the heart muscle itself, so the blood flow decreases over time. Now, laser, generally people think of it as being hot. It produces higher temperatures when it interacts with whatever it's burning, because the laser actually does destroy tissue that way. But the development of cold laser allowed us to have medical applications that were precise and that would reduce the damage to the adjacent tissue. What used to happen is we'd stick a big catheter into the artery, go into the artery itself, and blow up a balloon, essentially to stretch the artery and make it bigger, and hope that that would allow the blood flow to come around it.
Into the bloodstream.
And then all of a sudden you've got the ability to essentially destroy the obstruction and create a smooth path for the blood to be able to flow in. So it's really exciting looking at this. And it's not just how we revolutionized doing cardiac surgery for patients who have heart disease. Medicine is looking at new applications of laser technology in other areas of clinical practice, like in orthopedics. We can use laser technology to be able to do eye surgery. The application of laser technology in surgery has totally transformed the way in which we're able to care for patients.
And that wraps up this edition of America in Space. Tuesday on About Space Today, David Denault will have more space trivia for you. Don't forget, tonight at midnight is the deadline to submit your answer to today's space trivia question to info@aboutspace.today. You can listen to our podcast on Stitcher Radio, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and the TuneIn app. Reporting from the Washington News Bureau, I'm Rick Potlock.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to share our program with your family and friends and follow us on Facebook. Join us each week for news and information on America in Space.